And are you defining yourself in a way that doesn't work for you anymore? So here we are on episode 10 of the Choosing for Day show. And I'm just getting used to the new system on, and I'm not sure if I'm not sure if you even heard any of that. So I'll just um I'll just say it again. Hi, I'm Niki Duffy, Choosing for Today show, episode 10. And are you defining yourself in a way that doesn't work for you anymore? So recently, I had a conversation, and the conversation was about my business. And the thing about business is that when we bring ourselves to our business, so if something's not working in our personal life, then we are going to bring it to our business or to our work life, whatever it is, because it comes with us wherever we are. So that's one of the things that is so valuable about doing the personal development work and changing stuff for yourself in your life, because it impacts every area of your life. And you change something, you let go of something that's been holding you back, that's been stressing you out, and it opens up so many more possibilities for you in every area, including your business, including your relationships and your finances, and every area. So every time you let something go in one area, you're opening up possibilities in another area. So let me just see if I can see if not sure what's going on with this new way of doing things on Facebook. So there we go. I think I'm here. And if you know anyone who would enjoy this, then please share it. And if you have any questions for me, then put them in the comments. And I'm just seeing if I can see them on my phone as well, because then I've got more chance of making sure I catch them all. Okay, great. There we go. So so how do you define yourself? So a definition is a way that we put ourselves into a box. So a definition might be I am a woman, I am a mother. So when my kids were little, I used to drop my daughter off at playgroup, and I didn't even have my own name in those days. I was Katie's mum. And that might be something that, if you're a parent, you might recognize that as well. That, once, I mean, even from pregnancy, when I was pregnant, people, they wouldn't really talk to me. They'd want to feel my pregnancy bump, or they'd ask about the pregnancy and the baby, but it was almost like I'd sort of, like, the person I was before I got pregnant had disappeared. And then when I had my children, it was even more so the case that you know I was defined as their mother. And I was quite happy to go along with that definition most of the time. There were some times when I felt a bit lost, and I felt like, like, who was I? And particularly, I remember when my daughter first my daughter's the oldest, when she was first old enough and capable of walking without a pushchair. So I no longer had the buggy, the pushchair in front of me, and going out in public, going out in the street in real life, without the protection of the pushing the buggy in front of me, which I'd had for a couple of years, was just so weird, and it felt so alien to me. I felt really exposed. So we're currently in about week 6 of lockdown here in the UK, with the coronavirus COVID-19 lockdown. So, as when and it's been a worldwide thing, so maybe your country is your lockdown is easing up a bit and you're able to go out more, or maybe you still got whenever that's a thing for you, going out in and being in normal, walking down the street life with lots of people around might be really weird and really strange, and we might require to undefine everything that we decided a day-to-day normal life was, because coming back after the lockdowns that we've been experiencing worldwide, it will be so different, and there will become a new normal. And what if we didn't have to define ourselves and define things, and could just allow ourselves to be open to the possibilities of what could show up without limiting ourselves and restricting ourselves by only being our children's parent, only being a woman. And yes, you can be those things. I'm physically, I am a woman. This body is the body of a woman, and physically, I am a parent, and I love both of those. I love those roles, and yet I don't need to. That's not all I am. I am much more than that, and you are much more than your definitions, and you're much more than what other people have defined you as, or what the names and the roles and the definitions that you have adopted and taken on, without even really consciously choosing them. You are so much more than that. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. It's like where we lock ourselves up by defining ourselves, and while we can still be the things that in the past we might have defined ourselves as, we can also be so much more. So going back to the business conversation that sparked this whole thing, we were talking about why I got into the business, why my business is called Choosing for Today. And if you've watched some of the earlier episodes, you'll know my story. And so I told my story, and it was beautifully defined, because one of the things about beautifully defined, how does it get any better than that? One of the things that I've struggled with telling my story, because I went for ages of not telling it at all, and just like no, not saying a word about that. It's like, just pretend that's not really happening, it's not really a part of me, and because I was afraid of it defining me. So the new definition, the shortened version of my story, because that was another thing. I'd either not say it at all, or I'd go into a long explanation and like just get lost talking about details and stuff, which it's not required. And yeah, hey Kay, thank you, Shirley. Good to see you. All's good here. Hope it's good with you too. I'm just talking about undefining ourselves and not locking ourselves up with with definitions, either the definitions that we have taken on board without noticing them, or that other people have put on us. And yeah, so the in the business conversation that I had with Crystal Crawford, she defined down my big story down into just a few succinct words, which was really valuable. So they are: 25 years ago, my older sister Sophie's husband murdered Sophie, their baby Amina, and both my parents. And so that is the story, and that is the event that happened, and that is the event that I've struggled to not define myself by, because I was so afraid that something as something as big as that, when I would tell people about it, or when they would, especially at the beginning, when people would say, oh, that's your parents on the news, you know or they'd know me, or they knew that it was me that happened, it would their response would be just so intense, and I struggled with it. And they would, people would tell me all the like awful tragedies and horrific things that had happened to them in their lives, um or perhaps they would cry, or they would like get really angry about the fact that it happened, or that there'd be like all this going on. And so I stopped telling people. And I didn't want to get locked into that definition of, oh, Niki, oh, she's the one who had that terrible tragedy, oh, and also I didn't like my family being defined by their death and the way that they died. There's so much more to my sister Sophie, so much more to my mum Vivian and my dad Juanito and my niece Amina. There's so much more to them than the fact that they were murdered. And so all those definitions, I was, for 25 years, I've pretty much been avoiding or running away from, or scared I'd get locked into them. And one of the great things about the tools, thank you, Shirley. Shirley says you've done amazing way to represent them. Thank you. So and after that happened, I kind of went on like a massive journey of personal development, and it's like looking for tools to help in traumatic situations, looking for tools to build a life that worked for me, to even go as far as building a life that was worth living. Choosing a life beyond trauma, a life beyond those definitions. And one of the things are the tools of access consciousness, which I now teach. I'm a certified facilitator and a BARS facilitator in access consciousness. And there are so many fabulous, potent tools that can really help any situation. So one of them is the clearing statement. And I'm going to say it now. And it's a great way to, when you get a big scoop of yucky energy, you say the clearing statement and it clears out all the crap. So, and you don't need to understand it for it to just work. So the clearing statement is everything that is, everything that we just brought up with me talking about all of this. Will you now destroy and uncreate it all? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. And I'm including myself in that you. So that's the clearing statement. And if you'd like to find out more about the clearing statement, it's beautifully explained by Dr. Dane here on theclearingstatement.com. Fabulous website. You can go there and find out more about that. All you need to know for now, really, is if it's new to you, is it works. And when you find yourself up against a definition that doesn't work for you. So I used to be terrified of being defined as Niki who had those terrible traumas. So a way to let go of that definition is to then use the clearing statement and say, well, everything that means to me, I now destroy and uncreate it all, times a gazillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. And you may notice and sense the energy change as I say that, and a calm and a like, phew, a letting go of all of the yucky energy around that. So that's one of the potent tools that you can use, and just noticing that you're doing it, or noticing that you're trying to avoid it, is a really powerful thing, because in that noticing, then you have choice. Then you can, you notice it, you see it, you look at it and you're like, is this working for me? And you can choose something else. and you can choose again, and you can choose again, and you can choose, even if you don't know what to choose, you can just promise yourself to choose, or gift yourself the choice of something different. Something different. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So made a couple of notes here. So you can let go of the limitation. So everywhere we define ourselves is we limit what can show up. You know, so if I define myself as a access consciousness certified facilitator, then if that's all I define myself as, then it doesn't allow the expansion of the other things that I'm also qualified in, like that I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, I'm an EFT practitioner, I'm a mother, I'm a lover of dancing, you know, all those different things as well. It's like when we define ourselves as anything, we lock ourselves up. So letting go of the limitations of definition, we can still be all of those things, and we can open the space for more by letting go of the definitions, because this reality is so much about labels. And you know, one of the first things when you meet someone, when we're allowed to actually go out and meet people again, when you meet someone face to face, one of the first things they might say to you is, so what do you do? Asking about your career, asking about your job, so they can put you into a box, so they can define you. Okay, she's unemployed, or she's a weirdo therapist, or she's a lawyer, whatever it is. You know, they can box you up into their definitions. So we can't stop other people define, you know, choosing to define us or label us, or you know, put words to what they want about us. But we don't have to let their definitions of us impact on us in any way. We don't have to let their definitions of us lock us down and close us down and lock us up. We can simply, it's the way that we define ourselves that counts. And it's what we choose that counts. And one of the great things about choice is that we have fresh choice in every moment. Fresh choice in every moment. So if you choose something and it's a bit wonky, or it's like it's okay for a bit and then it's not working, choose again and choose again and choose again. And when you don't make yourself wrong, and when you don't define yourself as someone who gets things wrong, how about that one? Then you have more possibilities open to you. So you can choose for you, and choosing for you is a gift to the world. So I just wanted to, I've got this little picture of this is me when I think I was about 4 years old there, dressing up. So that's me in that was my hat, my dressing up as a king. That's my crown. I was the king. And you see my my hand knitted cardigan underneath there. My grandmother knitted that for me, and just the innocence and the possibility. I love this photo, and you can see that. Where is it? That's I've. That's all crayon marks where I was drawing, crayoning on the picture. Yeah, but just that that innocence, that openness to possibilities. There's no definition there. There's no limitation there. In this little girl, she can do and be anything. So this is the energy of being without definition. This is the energy of no limitation. This is the energy of being who you choose to be in every moment, whether that's dressing up in you know, whatever your costumes or whatever, or you know, choosing undefined. And I love that picture. So yeah, so definitions, basically what I wanted to say is definitions lock us up, and you don't have to limit yourself. with other people's definitions. You can, even if other people have, like, you feel like they've locked you up in the past, you can simply let that go. And if you can use the clearing statement to, everywhere that other people have tried to define me and lock me up in the past, I now let that go. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And another thing is, ask a question. So if I were truly undefined, what would I choose? Or another question you could ask is if I weren't limiting myself, what else would be possible for me? And an extension of that is, what else is possible for me now without limitations that I don't believe is possible, that if I allowed myself the possibility of, would actualize a completely different reality, a reality with no limitations. So everything that brings up and lets down, will you destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion and open up the possibilities? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So if you were truly undefined, what would you choose? If you didn't have to just be in this little box, just be in that little box, and you had to, like, be in this little box for this situation, be defined as the sibling in this situation, defined as the spouse in this situation, defined as the friend in this situation, whatever it is. What if you could just let all of those go and be you, undefined? So I'm about to start a fresh challenge. So every month in the Choosing for Today free group in Facebook, we do a fresh challenge, and the challenge is about choosing an access consciousness process question for the month, and we say it 30 times a day for 30 days. And we're starting a fresh one today, which is all about getting out of definitions. And let me read it to you, if in case you'd like to play along. So it's, what energy, space and consciousness can me and my body be to be out of control, out of definition, out of limitation, out of form, structure, out of significance, out of concentricities, and out of linearities for all eternity. And anything that doesn't allow that, with ease and joy and glory, destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So that's what we're going to do. And the thing about that, saying that clearing, is each time you say it, it breaks apart some of the walls and barriers and limitations that we put up, that we thought we had to define ourselves. Like, I used to keep the children's buggy in front of me and push it in front of me and feel it as like a wall of safety, as a definition of, like, this is who I am, I'm a mum, don't touch me, don't come near me, only talk to me about children's stuff. Breaking apart some of that so you can have more of you and more space for you every time we do that. So if it's fun for you, come along and play with us in the free Facebook group. And I will be doing a call on it on the 19th of May. And if you're watching this in the future, then every month I do a fresh challenge. And for this challenge and the call and whatever challenge, if you're watching this months, maybe years down the line, then every month I do a fresh challenge, and you can find the challenge, including this one, at choosingfortoday.com/30x30, the number 30x30, choosingfortoday.com/30 times 30. So come and join us on the call then, or come over to the free Facebook group now, where I'm going over to do the very first live of doing this 30 times starting today. So thanks so much for joining me. And if you have any questions or any topics you'd like me to cover for next week's Choosing for Today show, then please put them in the comments. I would love to sculpt a show around your questions and your comments. So Niki Duffy, choosingfortoday.com. And if your choices in every moment created your life, what could you choose for today? See you soon.